Good evening, Zimbabwe. You are listening to Studio 7 Live Talk, Women's Roundtable. We are coming to you live from the Voice of America in Washington this Thursday, September the 7th, 2023. I am your host, Sithandegile Mhlanga. Tonight, we are discussing the tasks of recently elected councillors, parliamentarians, and senators, some of whom were sworn in today in Harare and Mount Hampton. This follows the inauguration of President Emmerson Mnangagwa Mande, who won in the recently held election, whose results are disputed by opposition parties, including the Citizens Coalition for Change and regional and international observers. Let's hear what Chikombe West legislator Tatenda Mavetera has to say.
Ndoda kuti nditende kuti nhasi uno zvaitika president wedu akataura kuti vaMnangagwa vakataura kuti ngative tiri peaceful after elections, before, during and after elections. Saka naizvozvo tinoda kuti titende kuti baba vedu vaMnangagwa kupfurikidza naizvozvo vava ivo vachitaura kuti vanhu vave vari peaceful. Nhasi uno zvaitika pano zvaitika zviri very peaceful, zvine runyararo rwatinotarisira tese. Asi chandoda kuti nditaure ndechekuti pane mitemo yatinofanira kuti igadzirike, mitemo yakanangana nemayouth, mitemo yakanangana nemadzimai. Mukada kutarira tinokwanisa kupedza muparamendi yapfuura kuti tive neyouth bill rinova rinotarisana nezvemayouth, kuti mayouth awanewo makota, mayouth apfuurire mberi. Zvakare tinokwanisa kuva tine ratinoti act, bumbiro remutemo rinoita kuti tikwanise kuti section 17 yeconstitution inotaura kuti kuenzaniswa kwemikana kwevarume nemadzimai akwanise kunge akabatana. 17 section 56 nesection 8 of the constitution. Tiri kuti isusu chatakuda iye zvino ndechekuti kwanisa kuti mitemo iyoyo ive ichikwanisa kuva ichiitika kuti ishande kana kuti kwatinoti kuimplementa muno muZimbabwe.
Ndezvipi zvamuchaita zvakasiyana nezvamaita mu9th parliament?
Inini sedunga munhu chandoda kuti ndivimbise vanhu veZimbabwe ndechekuti ndichashanda nepandinogona pese. Pane chandakadzidziswa napresident kuti tinofanira kuita anonzi ma7 leaders. Saka naizvozvo ndinotenda kuti ndiro zvandichange ndichita. Zvakare ndichange ndichitaura zvikuru nyaya dzakanangana nemadzimai, nyaya dzakasangana nemayouth, kuti tito dzirambe dzichienderera mberi. Mukada kutaura sezvandataura zvinofanira kusiyanaka kuti patakapedza patakasina kupedza mutemo, so zvinota kugadzirisa kuti tito tipedze mutemo.
That was Chikombe West legislator Tatenda Mavetera of ZANU-PF, who says Parliament should have laws that will assist women and youths. She was speaking with VOA reporter Godwin Mangutia. For the first time, councils saw in members of the proportional representation. Our reporter Tobias Mudzingwa spoke to some of the councillors in Harare. That was Councillor Charlotte Maukarati of ZANU-PF explaining how she will try and improve the welfare of women in Harare. CCC Councillor Fatsai Matimba explains how she intends to assist women in Harare.
Muri kunzwa sei kuti semunhu wechidzimai makwanisa kunge muchipinda mukanzuru, uye tingati ndezvipi zvamunoti zviri kunyanya kunetsa madzimai zvamuchada kuti kanzuru inge ichigadzirisa?
Maita basi ini kunzwa kufara kuti ndapinda mukanzuru zvakawanda zvatichagadzirisa sekusi tichaedzawo kuti madzimai awane access to zvakawanda zvakaita sehealth, zvakaita kuti vakuvakubviswa, zvakaita sekuti vakwanise kuwana pekutengesera pakanaka. Ndizvo zvimwe zvatichatarisa kuti kukwanisa kuisa zvakaita seimai muno muHarare. Tichaitawo kuti vawanewo access kuti vakwanisa kuenda kuchikoro, vakwanise kuenda kuchikoro. Saka ndokunzwa kufara kuti ndapinda semudzimai, tichasimudzawo madzimai nevamwe mayouth.
kana tapinda mukanzuro kudai so kune here kuti ndiri mudzimai saka ndichasapota madzimai etriple C, ndiri mudzimai ndichasapota madzimai ezanu kana kuti eUNC kana kuti emamwe mapato kana kuti muri kunomirira vose?
Mongo ndichanomiririra madzimai ose, hazvinei nekuti kupato ripi kana kuti ripi, regardless kuti mudzimai wekutriple kana kuti wekuzanu, tichabatsira madzimai ese kuti awane access zvakafanira.
That was CCC Councillor Fatsai Matimba also speaking on how she intends to help women in her Ward 7. And Ward 7 Mount Pleasant Councillor Rosemary Muronda explains issues she will advocate for in her ward and the city in general.
Rosemary Muronda, Ward 7 Mount Pleasant Councillor. Nasirangarizwa guru ratanga basa ratachiteka our court of office and kutarisira kushanda zvakanaka tichienderesa basa redu mberi izvo zvichaita kuti nyika yedu yeZimbabwe iite zvakanaka. Tine maissues atoda kugadzirisa ayo matambudziko angasangana nemaresidents edu kubvira kumaconstituents kwatachigara, like challenge yatatinayo yekutanga yakabva kumaresidents yadi kusarisira kuti tinoda kuigadzirisa inyaya yekudecongesta mashopping centers. Vagari vemumount Pleasant vabva vari kuti mashopping centers edu awandisa vanhu vanotengesa ende vanga vaine chikumbiro chokuti tiwane zvatokwanisa kuvaitira kuti vawane kufamba kwakanaka pamashopping center. So number one, ndinotarisira kuvewo nekugadzirisa mavending stores ayo achabatsira kuti vedu vanotengesa vave vanokwanisa kutengesa zviri pamutemo kana tavacreatira those vending stores. Number two, issue yekugadzirisa nyaya yemvura. Nyaya yemvura tane nguva yakareba muhighlands tine dambudziko iroro. Ndine tarisiro yekuti issue yemvura iyoyoyo tinofanira kuigadzirisa. The other thing inyaya yegarbage. Tatine dambudziko yegarbage collection. Ndine tarisiro yekuti tichingopinda tikwanise kuita garbage management.
That was Mount Pleasant Councillor Rosemary Muronda speaking to our reporter Tobias Mudzingwa in Harare. Some councillors were sworn in Bulawayo yesterday.
Bizo Lesina Mohammed. Siyakuthabela njengabomama ukuthi sisingezelele inamba yabomama eLuthwane Council. So ungani umama sesibanyenganyana kodwa sizakwazi sifone kuma-chambers.
Meeting oqoshwa namhlanje.
It's ukuqala kwe-project kule sizama ukuthi sibheke ukuthi njengabomama and we are looking forward to the term.
Ungene umeleni kibati. Ibizo lesibongo ibizo lami ngoNokuthula Sibanda. Mama Nokuthula Sibanda lingene ku-PR namhlanje liqula lokuqala ukungena ku-PR ngithini ngakho. Hayi ngithabile kakhulu. Ngithemba sizakhona ukuthi sibambe umsebenzi njengabantu abangomama. Lingene limele liphi bathi? Izaluphiwe. Hayi kuyini likhangelele ukuthi likusebenzele ukulawana. Sikhangelele ukuthi velike izinto eziningi special kubomama lapha ngobomama yibo abantu ama-problems amaningi, especially udubo lwamanzi lodubo lokunye nje kuphathelane ne-cancer.
That was CCC Councillor Lesina Mohammed of CCC and Nokuthula Sibanda of ZANU-PF, who say Bulawayo needs a lot of development. Speaking to our reporter Anastasia Ndlovu. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back.
In times of change, when the world seems uncertain and what we hear doesn't reflect what we see, we seek the truth. When we are told only part of the story, we lose trust. in moments of crisis, our dreams, hopes, and wishes for a better tomorrow depend on a free press. At Voice of America, we bring you the stories that people take risks to see. We connect the world and unite it with truth. At Voice of America, we show you the whole picture.
For those just joining us, this is Live Talk, the Women's Roundtable, coming to you live from the Studio 7 at the Voice of America in Washington. We are discussing aims of the newly elected councillors, members of parliament and senators, and what their communities expect from them. Now, to discuss the topic in depth, we are joined by our first guest, Patricia Chabalala, Deputy Chairperson of the Bulawayo Progressive Residents Association. Yebo ke siyakwamukela kuhlelo. Yebo ke siyabona ukuthi sebegcotshiwe okhansela labo senator labo lamalungu edale leParliament nje ungathini ngalokho singakhangelela ukuthi hayi sokuzaba lenguquko ezigabeni.
Ngiyabona kakhulu mntanami ukuqala mbachaya ihlombe bonke omama abangenile edala leParliament labangene ku-local government ngisikhambe nkazana amhlophe amakhulu ye ngokukhangela kwami omama abangenile ngomama abalobungcwethi abafundisiweyo sibafundisile sabakhuluma njengabantwana bethu base sibafaka ukuthi bangene ukuthi bazosebenzela balethe inguqulo yobulawayo kakhulu sibakhuthaza futhi ukuthi bazazi inhlupho zabo Bulawayo sibakhuthaza futhi ukuthi babambane basebenzele ndawonye bengabandlululani ukuze Bulawayo aqhubekele phambili ngoba sikhangelele ukuthi sizohlupho olukhulu kabanzi yiyo indaba enkulu ekumele baqalise ukuthi bayibambe omama bathwele nzima ngamanzi bayadlwengulwa abantwana abangamankazana bayadlwengulwa besiyadinga amanzi nxa bengena esikhathini bathwala nzima okusokubalethele imikhuhlane engaphiliyo emzimbeni yabo so sikhangelele ukuthi bonke omama laba abangenile bazasilela ukuthi indaba yamanzi ilungiswe lokuhlanzeka kwabo Bulawayo uBulawayo uvadlalile ufike ungcolile umgwaqo kuthiwa yigodi kuphela ngama-potholes bathi ngama-dish nasingenzi so sikhangelele ukuthi babenanzelele lokhu ukuthi bazasilela ngokuhlanzeka kwaBulawayo ahlanjuluke lasezibhedlela lapha kumaklinikhi ethu siyakhangelela ukuthi bakhangele kakhulu ukuthi bengenzani ngizabongani baphumelayo ngoba sebebonile bayazi ukuthi amanesi malutshwana istaff isilutshwana okubethela ukuthi abantu bengaphatheki lapha esibhedlela babe lamalongikizi bahlale ilanga lonke esibhedlela azathi inesiqankhaya konakele ngenye indaba esifuna ukuthi bayikhangele kakhulu njengabomama abangenileyo yebo kahambi lawo amajaha angenileyo siyafisa ukuthi abe njalo babambane basebenzela labomama abandawonye incediswane ukuthi intuthuko yabo Bulawayo ibuyele wonke lokho kukhathazayo bamusebenzele ndawonye ukuze Bulawayo abuyele abe ngumlawayo wakudala esimaziyo ngibathembile ukuthi bazafikethela lokho i-service delivery ibe khona.
Yebo kuyezwakala kodwa singabona kusiba lenguquko yini ubona ingani kuzaba ngumthwalo olula lowo ngoba siyananzelela ukuthi abanengi khona beqalisa ukungena umsebenzi ayisibo labana esingathi bale experience ngesilungu bayangena njalo bazayenelisa yini ngoba kunengi imvumo ivela kukhulumeni
njalo bezibandla elilodwa i-opposition kunzima kakhulu ngoba i-punishment yona le bazayithola ukuthi badlile elinye ibandla asoze kube lula kodwa iqiniso elipheleleyo ukuthi kuzamele bame isibindi bazame ukusebenza ngoba njengoba uhulumende engiyekhangela konke akusoze kube lula kubo yikho ngisho ukuthi nxa bengenile benje ngababambane basebenze ndawonye baphumele amaqini ukuthi benzeni ukuze bamthuthukise uBulawayo ngoba hayi kibo ngifuna ukubaqila
Yes, that is our first guest, Patricia Chabalala, explaining that she expects the newly sworn-in members of Parliament, Senate, and also the Council to work closely with the communities in areas that are of concern in the cities, citing examples in Bulawayo such as water problems and others. Right, before we continue with our guests, let's take a caller. Siyakwamukela ecingweni mlaleli. Yeah, ngubani engikhuluma laye? Ungaziqamba igama lokuthi ngubani uvela ngapha ekhaya?
Echolocho esiyangaya.
Ungaphi kathesi sikhuluma kanje? Yebo, ukhuluma ungaphi kathesi? Hayi, ucingo lethu lungalala usazwakali kakhulu. Uyangizwa mina? No, I think we have a problem with our listener from Cholocho. Ngakho-ke sizaqhubeka-ke ngengxoxo yethu. We'll continue with our interview with our guest, Patricia Chabalala. She's the Deputy Chairperson of Bulawayo Progressive Residents Association. Yes, and we also noticed that Bulawayo Progressive Residents Association held a series of meetings. They meet the candidates, meetings where all the candidates were invited to outline their aims and objectives for the city if they are elected into parliament. Yes, can you shed more light on what came out of those meetings which you expect to see implemented today?
Yes. sibabuze basitshele ukuthi kanjani azosebenza kanjani sibancedise futhi ukuthi labo sikhangelele lokho sifunani kibo kuyona lemhlangano esizababizela kuyo asili labo sifuna ukusebenza labo sibambane sibancedise ukuze kubenzele lula umthwalo ukuthi basebenze njani lezakhamizi njengoba thina sisebenza lezakhamizi sizabizela ukuthi sizokwelulekana siphane indlela zokusebenza masivumelana bese sisebenza sihamba ngendlela yona leyo esisabe sivumelene nayo sidinga yona i-accountability ukuthi bazasenzela yini esifundisa njalo ukuthi ngempela sizabenzela zakhamizi lokho elikhala ngakho ngoba sizabatshengisa ukuthi sikhangelele lokho lalo lina lizasenzelani.
Yebo-ke kuyezwakala ngezinye indlela lisaba leminye futhi imhlangano phezu kwaliyana elaba layo phambilini kokhetho.
Yebo, sizaba layo sisamele sihlangane labo siba-engage sikhulumisane sixoxisane ngayona silandelela khona kuyaka babesithembisa khona okuzasenza sivumelane sisebenze indawonye mase sehlula bese simuzana-ke ukuthi kasimadoda lapha sokuhamba njani asifuni ukuxabana labo sifuna ukuthi sisebenze labo ngesihle sincedisane ukuze kungadilizi i-development sifuna sisebenze labo ukuze kube ingqubekela phambili enhle.
Yebo-ke siyasizwe njalo lo hlupho lwengcekeza edolobheni lakoBulawayo ungathini ngalolu daba kuyenzeka yini ukuthi kube lenhlelo ezingaqeda lolu hlupho?
Ngamele ngenzelile laba amankazana balamajaha aphume kwenhlelo eziqinileyo ezizancedisa uBulawayo ukuphuma engcekezeni zabo ngoba kunzima koBulawayo lithengiswa lapha lalapha phakathi komgwaqo kuyathengiswa akusanjwa libhanana libeke khona phana yonke ingcekeza ngibhida kuyini konke nje lemchemo konke kundawoni kuyamele lapho kwamele basebenze gadalala ukuthi idolobho lethu babiqinise baphume lehlelo sihlanganele nabo sivumelane ukuthi siphumele lehlelo sisapotane sibasapote bathi basapote nxa sibatshengisa ukuthi lapha sihamba ngezatolo ungaphuma lokhu labo bathe lapha singenza so ungaphuma lokhu ngoba inhlelo eziningi ngabe zazenza kumele bazithathe ezinye kuzakhamisi ngoba lathi silazo ezinye indlela esizibonayo ezingabancedisa ukuthi baphume lenhlelo ezinjalo ezizancedisa ubulawayo ukuthi aphume kulingeke zemkhulu ngapha.
Yebo-ke lapho sizwe unkosikazi Patricia Chabalala esixoxa layo kuhlelo lwethu lapho esicubungula ukuthi kambe amalunga edale lephalamende awesenate lama-council azaqhuba nhlelo bani ezigabeni zawo njengoba sibona phela ukuthi sebekhethiwe ukuthi bekhokhele. And one of the issues that keep coming up in most urban councils especially is the issue of water shortage, that the young girls especially have to go and fetch water in boreholes, and this exposes them to dangers associated with walking at night. Sometimes they face abuse, and there's also the issue of dirt in the cities, because some vendors, especially in Bulawayo, there are some illegal ones who do not want to vacate those premises despite the council saying they shouldn't be operating there. So she's hoping that the newly sworn-in councillors will clean up the town. And one of the interesting points that's coming up is that the residents' associations, some of them held meetings with candidates prior to elections to hear what they have to say and what they have to offer their communities. And the communities, of course, did ask questions. So it was interesting engagement there with the communities. And now we understand there will be more meetings with those who have been elected to say how they intend to implement those promises which they made in the city. But of course, there is the local government to deal with, because most of the programs have to be approved from the top by the local government. Yes, okay, sesiphenduka kuwe ke nkosikazi Chabalala, kodwa liyathokoza yini ngenani labesifazana abakhethiweyo? We noticed that for the first time the councils saw in members of the proportional representation, most of them women. In fact, women were sworn in who were not elected. I can give an example. With Bulawayo, there were 38 councillors, but we know that there are only 29 wards, meaning that the 9 were strictly females. Is this a good idea to increase the number of women who participate in politics, who participate in councils?
Mama bekumele banjene kakhulu babe namakhansila kakhulu ukuze bancedise, ngoba yibo futhi abakhangele izindubo zonke zokushela amanzi, indubo zonke zabantwana abadlengelayo besiyadinga amanzi ema-clinics, yibo abahambisa abantwana baze bahambise labomni babo ema-clinics. So besikhangelele ukuthi omama ngabe banjene kakhulu. Kodwa khonokho okwenza-ke leyo khathesi siyabonga sithi kungani kuthe xaxa bekungamankazana kungani kunjenileyo kuhlakaniphile. So sikhangelele ukuthi nxa kungahamba kuleyami iminyaka ngedlule emhlanu kuyalo mama bethu sebefundile ukuthi kumele bangene bazisebenzele ekhansilini, ngoba kulamunye umuntu ongabancedisa ngaphandle bokuthi bazimele bona bafakane ezikhundleni. Enye into abasayishota engakaba meli kuhle ngondeni ngabeshasilela ukuthi kabafakani bathi fakani ubaba yikho futhi okubachayileyo khathesi baba balitshwana ku-local government.
Yes, we see that she's our guest, Patricia Chabalala, is saying it's a good idea to have the proportional representation because it has boosted the number of women in the councils, and they are the ones who usually face most of the problems which are needed, which need rectification. So if they are the ones who can rectify those problems, then it is the best that a woman be the councillor. But we also hear other people saying the proportional representation somehow belittles women as if they cannot just be elected on merit, but have to be appointed. uyavumelana lakho lokhu yini Nkosikazi Chabalala ukuthi hayi abesifazana khona nokho ukuthi proportional representation kuyabalulaza ingani bona sibo bantu abangavotelwa ngenxa yekhono labo?
Ngivumelani ngayo. Angikuthandi ukuthi bafakwe kuthiwe nje bafakwa, ngithanda ukuthi bangene sisebenzekane labo sibancedise bangene omama ukuba kumele bangene laphandle ukuze bawazi amandla ukuze basebenze ngokuqinile ngoba nxa kuthiwa ngabe-proportional kuyabalulaza. Mina ngithanda ukuthi ngabe bangena bevotele ukwazi ukuthi ingomama siyashela ukuthi madoda azivote sifuna ukungenisa omama abangaka njalo senelisa ukubangenisa omama labo ngoba akekho kufakwa abantu befakwa mina akungenzi angeke ngasiqasha kangako ngoba nje benyabe ngiyimuntu ongenisiweyo ngingazi njengelanga ngamandla ami ngoba okukhulu ukuthi ungene ngamandla akho ukuze uyowatshengisa usuphakathi khonapho eyabungene khona.
And besides proportional representation, we see that as much as most people are talking about women and young girls, we see that there's also a problem facing young men, most of whom are taking to drugs, and you have been engaged in some programs to solve the problem. Yes, what do you think can also be done for the younger generation, not just girls?
Young generation bekumele ukuthi ikhonaphi intsha izifundise ukungena inhlangano izifundise ukumela abantu ukuze nxa sokufika lelo banga lokuthi bangene kulezo zikhundla ukuthi nampa abantwana laba bakhona kumele bangene bayayazi ukuthi abayithanda laphana ngoba isikhathi esiningi abantu bayahamba ezindaweni ezinje bengakwazi abayakwenza besokubathi sebemuka besokubenza futhi bazondwe ngababe bebangenisile bese bebasola kuqalisa ubusolwana akusayilethi ingqubeka phambili sokuya kuba khona pho sokulokho kukhulunyiswana uhlukuluzwana.
Yes, and we heard most of the councillors who were sworn in today under the proportional representation and some yesterday in Bulawayo saying that they will indeed spearhead programs to uplift the lives of young girls and women. Sibazwile bekuthembisa lokho Nkosikazi Chabalala. Ubone ngani kuzabalula yini sesibuyela futhi embuzweni lwana. Ngelokho sowakubonayo wena nxa usebenza la majaha lawa athatha izidakamizwa athatha insangu lokunye ungathini kuzaba lula yini ukuthi bengene endleleni?
Indaba yezidakamizwa iyehlula yiyo beyihlatsheka ukuthi nasi indaba isihlula amadoda izafuna abaqinileyo ngoba ingafuna ukuthi indaba beyibona babe yibo abazatshaya i-advocacy enkulu bekhulumisana behulumeni ukuthi laba abantu abathengisela abantwana izidakamizwa babe emthethweni babotshwe njalo ungakhangela into enkulu ukuthi izakhamizi yizo ezithengisa izidakamizwa omama kakhulu okuletha uhlupho kuzabalethe uhlupho ngoba bazabe kumele bakhulume iqiniso.
Yebo-ke sesizakubamba umlomo lapha kodwa sithabile kakhulu ukuthi ube ngumhlonitshwa wethu lamuhla. Thank you to our guest Patricia Chabalala. We have come to the end of our show. We'd like to meet again tomorrow at 8 o'clock p.m. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm Sithandegile Mhlanga here in Washington.
Tonight, night, midnight, I forbade. Tonight, night, midnight, my heart returns to you.